Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Akakodash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. To you I say Shalom. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the flock of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. I'm going to play this quick video real quick from this congressman, all right? I'm not sure which state, but he's talking about how nobody is really preparing for the upcoming famine. Because famine is coming, man, all right? Famine is coming, so, don't say you weren't warned when it happens, man. So Jacob's trouble is also going to coincide with famine too, all right? It's going to be all when shit hits the fan. When you think about that literally, man, some boo-boo hitting a ceiling fan spinning at a high speed is going to scatter everywhere, man. Nothing's going to be left uncovered, man, with shit. So when shit hits the fan in a metaphorical sense, you could think about, power outages, EMP hits, famines, civil wars, neighbors going against each other, martial law, all right? And ultimately, the famine of the word, too. So, without further ado, I'm going to play this video and I'm going to get into some scripture, Lord willing. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but basically he's saying food shortages are coming. And basically he's saying how the agriculture people in the farming industry are really being left behind by the lending institutions, aka the banks, because they need help too. Prices are skyrocketing throughout the stores. Hyperinflation, you're starting to see the beginnings of hyperinflation, right? And you're seeing these things, and nobody is, helping out the farmers. Everybody's getting bailed out and so on and so forth. But a lot of farmers are struggling too because if food is going up, fertilizer's going up. So, I mean, Salakia, fertilizer's going up, fuel is going up, the price of, what's that word I'm looking for? Where basically water and electricity are going up too, all right? So this is why you see the prices of food in your grocery stores going up too. That's why you see the prices of chicken going up too, right? Because they have to recoup that money somehow, some way. But it's going to come a point in time where it's not going to be cost effective to actually run a farm, right? Basically these farmers are going to take their farms to basically feed their families, all right? But let me jump over to the book of Jeremiah, because you can't say you weren't warned. Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and evil and of pestilence. Right? Is America not a great kingdom? Is America not the greatest kingdom that ever's been? Right? So, of course, the prophets are going to prophesy against this place too, man. All right, because this so-called great kingdom is not going to last forever. We're at the end of this great kingdom, man. All right, pursuant to 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 9. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows, roughly paraphrasing, man. All right, so once this kingdom ends, our kingdom is going to be established under Yahweh Yahushai. But the fall of this kingdom is going to be great, man. All right, the fall of this kingdom is going to be great. Even though the Lord's going to destroy it in 1 hour, before the climax of the Lord's destruction of this place, he's going to destroy this place little by little. All right. Let me jump over to the book of Ecclesiastes. Slack, I want chapter 1. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Right? Kingdoms rising and kingdoms falling is not a new thing. All right. So don't expect Babylon to last forever. Right? Great kingdoms going through famine and starvation and mass starvation is not a new thing. So don't think Babylon or AKA America is exempt from famine, man. All right. And this famine is going to be great because not only is it going to be you know, a dearth upon the earth, right? When you think of the word dearth, think about the word death and earth put together. If a dead earth can't produce, man, a dead earth is barren, so it won't produce fruit. But a dearth really goes into famine, right? So when you think about Salaki, I lost my train of thought. But don't think Babylon is exempt from this, man. Oh, Salaki, don't think great nations also have went through famines as well, man. All right. Don't think this is a new thing that's about to happen. The the the, the famine and pestilence that's about to come to this place isn't new, but the gravity of it is going to be new. It's going to be like a time like never before, according to Daniel chapter 12. All right. Now let me jump over to the book of Genesis, chapter 41. I'm going to start at verse 28. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to go straight to the point. Genesis 41 and 28. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What the Most High is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh. Right? Pharaoh had dreams that he needed to be interpreted, and Joseph was the one that could interpret the dreams. So they released Joseph in prison so he could interpret the dreams for Pharaoh. And right now, Joseph is breaking out the dreams that Pharaoh had. Verse 29. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. All right? For 7 years, Egyptians are going to eat well. There's going to be great plenty, meaning there's going to be a lot of food, right? There's going to be a lot of food, man. Everybody's going to eat, man. Verse 30. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land, and the famine shall consume the land. All right, so after the 7 years of the plenty, after the 7 years of, basically your inventory being at an all-time high, there's going to be 7 years of famine. All right, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt. A famine so bad, you're not going to remember how good those days were before it, man. All right, verse 31. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of the famine following it, for it shall be very grievous, man. A famine so bad, you're going to forget the good years, man. And what does this say in Sirach? Let me jump over the book of Sirach real quick. Sirach chapter 11. Sirach 11 and 25. Sirach, or the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 11, verse 25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction, there's no more remembrance of prosperity. Right? So when things are going good, you don't remember how things were before they were good, man. That's why there's a saying that says, hard times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times. It's the cycle, right? So during those weak times, you don't remember the good times. I mean, during those hard times, you don't remember the good times. All right, you really don't. So this is Genesis chapter 41 again. I'm gonna jump back to verse 28 or 29. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. All right, and that's spiritual too, because you're looking at the situation of Venezuela now and the hyperinflation that's going on there now. You see images and videos of how Venezuelan cash is just all throughout the streets because it isn't as worth as much as it was before, man. Right? The same thing is about to happen in Babylon. And it's the spirit because before Venezuela went through this hyperinflation, Venezuela was at an all-time high in their stock market, man. The Venezuela stock market was at an all-time high. But do you think those people that right now that are struggling to buy bread, water, eggs, basic necessities for nutrition, man? You think they remember those good times where they were at an all-time high and they had money everywhere, man? No, because of the hyperinflation crushed and massive printing of money crushed the economy. Now you have hyperinflation where they can't really buy nothing without massive amount of cash, man. All right, the same thing is going to happen to Babylon. I believe starting around 2016, the U.S. stock market was at an all-time highs, man, and it continued to go up and up and up, right? Until around March 2020, when the vid came to when everything was shut down, the stock market took a dip. Now it's going back up again, little by little. But right now, you're about to see a massive crash, man. Real soon, Lord willing, real willing fucking this coming Monday, man. All this shit crashes, man. All hell breaks loose, man. Because the last thing, me speaking as a man, that's holding the U.S. dollar together is the faith that people have in it. Once people lose faith in the U.S. dollar, the economy is going to crash overnight. And once that happens, consider all hell to break loose, man. Because people that have been hoarding money, hoarding cash, stuffing cash under their mattress and safes and whatnot, that cash is now going to be worthless. Now you won't have money to go buy the necessity of a life: food, water, medicine, housing, clothing. The money you have and you store it up, it will now be worthless. So what will you do then? How will you feed your family then? How would you feed yourselves then, man? You're gonna have to go out and get it by any means necessary. There's gonna be you versus everybody else you see, man. Even your own family members, man. And this is what the scriptures talk about, man. Now, people don't want to see it because the faith in the U.S. dollar is still there. But this 7 years of great plenty in Babylon is coming to an end, man. And 7 years of great famine is coming after that. All right, Genesis 41 and 30. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land, and the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of the famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice, right? By two or three witnesses, man. And it is because the thing established by the Most High, and the Most High will shortly bring it to pass, right? Understand this, that it happened before, it's about to happen again, man. All right? Let me go to 2nd Ezra chapter 15. I'm going to start at verse 16. 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. People are not going to listen to their so-called elected leaders, the leaders that they chose, right? The leaders that they allegedly put into power, man. They're not going to listen to them no more. The course of their actions is going to stand into power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, their houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Part of that pride is the faith in the U.S., man. Faith in the U.S. military, faith in the U.S. Government, faith in the U.S. dollar. All right, you're prideful thinking those things are going to last forever, man. You're prideful, and because of your great pride, the cities are going to be destroyed, man. Houses are going to be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Verse 19, like I was saying earlier, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right? In this time, this time that I'm speaking about now, the time that the Lord is speaking about, because these are my words, the time that the Lord's speaking about that's coming real soon, coming to the shores of America, right? Everybody you see is going to be an enemy, man. No matter how long you may have known them, no matter if they're your own blood, everybody you see will be your enemy because of the fact alone of the lack of bread, man. People think it's sweet in Babylon because you have supermarkets everywhere. You have something called fast food where you don't even have to get out your car to get a meal. You got Uber Eats where you don't even have to leave your house to get a meal because of this great all these conveniences everywhere, man. 7-Eleven's open 24 hours a day, so you can get food anytime you want. But what happens when all that convenience is cut off, man? Like a flick of a switch. All right, what will you do then? All right, who will you depend on? All right, you put your faith in Esau, Edom. You put your faith in your own might. You put your faith in your Federal Reserve notes, man. When all that shit becomes worthless, man, and your faith is now leaving you confounded, right? Because you believe in something that can't deliver you. What will you do then, man? All right. And this is just a warning. All right, this is a warning from the Lord. All right, he showed Pharaoh the dream twice, but luckily for Pharaoh, he had a man of the Lord that told him what to do. He told him to, store up the corn because of this famine that's coming, right? And all nations will basically come to you for food, right? So now you got to store up your spiritual corn. You got to store up your spiritual food, right? By serving the Lord while you still can, while there's still hope, man. All right. Actually, let me jump up this to a couple of verses, and I'm gonna read this and close out. Second Ezra chapter 15. I'll start from the top. Second Ezra 15 and 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Again, like I was saying earlier, these aren't my words. These are the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. He's the one that's saying that, so he's the one that's going to make it come to pass. Verse 2. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Right? We don't fear what people say or what people believe, because what people believe doesn't affect the Lord's thoughts, man. What people believe doesn't affect the Lord's actions, man. All right. Let me go into that word incredulity. Incredulity, the quality or state of being incredulous, inability, or unwillingness to believe. Right? You may you either have the unwillingness to believe or the inability to believe. All right, which I don't know which is worse, to be honest. Because if you unwilling to believe, you're stiff-necked. But if you're unable to believe, you're blinded. All right. Well, I don't know which is worse. Honestly, they're both horrible. All right. I'm gonna read that again with the so-called modern definition. Second Edwards 15 and 3. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the unwillingness to believe of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. And part of the ways that they're going to die in their unfaithfulness is by famine, man. All right. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. All right. Famine is part of the plague. All right. The final plague will be the nuclear missiles, which is the ultimate sword, man. Besides Yahweh's chariots, right? Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hopeful works are fulfilled. All right. This has gone far too long, man. All right. For 3 transgressions and for 4. This is what this. Hey, this is one too many, man. I'm gonna get one more. I'm gonna close out, Lord willing. All right. This is Sirach chapter 39. Sirach 39:28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. All right. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force. The time of destruction is right around the corner, man. All right. Fire and hail, famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. All right. The Lord has a controversy with this place. The Lord has a controversy with Esau. So what's he going to do? Now he's going to take vengeance upon this place and 2/3 of our people, man. 2/3 of our people are going to feel the vengeance of the Lord, man. All right. Just like they say, payback's a motherfucker, man. Imagine being paid back by the supreme deity, man. All right. But I'm going to close out with that. Lord, when this lesson was edifying, again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makakodash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. Until next time, I will say shalom and a bar.